Hello everyone, Danielle here with Blooming Heart Shop. In this video, I'm going to talk about the must-have tools for jewelry making. I have those 4 basic and necessary tools here at the top. Below I have some optional tools that I'm going to talk about, but these 4 tools right here are going to need to be in every single jewelry making kit. First up, we have the round nose pliers. These are going to have the nice tapering nose that goes from small to large. You're going to have the soft grip handles on that as well. You want to make sure that you get quality on this. I bought some online where the tips were not properly aligned and it was making wonky loops for me and I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized that it was because of the misalignment. It was just slightly misaligned. It made all the difference in the world. I got this pair at Michael's and I was able to see that they were aligned. So quality, they're not too expensive, but just make sure that you get some that are properly aligned. You use them in making loops, and that is an essential jewelry making technique that I have a video on, so please check that video out. Again, we have those round nose pliers, number 1 jewelry tool. Number 2, we have the chain nose pliers. Again, it's a tapering tool, but you're going to see it's got that nice, really crisp point right there, so you can get right up close to those beads and on that wire. It's also going to have the nice grip handle. You make sure that you buy the jewelry making ones and not ones that you would get in the hardware store, because those pliers are going to have the grooves on the inside that are going to scratch and damage your wire. You want to make sure you get these ones that have that flatness on the inside that are going to just kind of grip it and not damage your wire. So those chain nose pliers. Next up are the bent nose pliers. Some people say they're not essential, but they are essential to me. I use them a lot in my jewelry and wire wrapping. I use them in gripping tools. It's got the tapering, which is really great. It goes to the nice point, but honestly, whenever I'm using my chain nose pliers and holding the wire with this, I can sometimes grip the wire and wire wrap it around, but it can be hard on the fingers and slippery sometimes too, so I like to use my chain nose pliers to grip it and wire wrap it around. I'll show you in another video how I use these 2 tools to wire wrap a briolette or a bead onto a head pin or an eye pin. These 2 guys I think go hand in hand, really. So we've got those chain nose pliers and those round nose pliers. And we also have another essential one. You got to be able to cut the wire. So we've got the flush cutters. These are going to have the grip handle as well, and you're going to want to make sure quality too. You want to make sure that the blade is always together. You don't use these guys to cut memory wire, otherwise it will damage the blade and take big chunks out of it. You have a special cutter for that. This is your basic flush cutter that you use to cut all the wire. You also, when you are cutting the wire, you want to make sure you hold one end when you cut so you can discard that piece. But if it's a very small piece that you can't grasp, make sure that you are holding them flat side down, so when you do cut, that piece will go to the table and not shoot up at your face and at your eye. So flush cutters, just make sure you are using those properly and making sure that blade is nice and crisp. Those are the 4 basic tools for jewelry making. These next ones are optional, but I use them all the time. They're quickly becoming like a necessity for me. First up are the step pliers. They are a step up from the round nose pliers. Round nose pliers are used for making loops, but it can be a little bit challenging to get consistent loops. I suggest if you have to use these, using a Sharpie to mark on there, on the tool, where you are making a loop so you can make consistent loops every single time. A little bit of rubbing alcohol will take that right off. But my upgraded tool is this step plier, this 6-step plier with the small to the larger steps. You'll be able to make consistent loops as long as you are putting that wire on that correct loop. You'll make it the same size every time. So this is a non-essential, but it's quickly becoming an essential tool for me. Another non-essential tool are Nylon Jaw Pliers. You will use these babies to straighten out your wire. I just bought some new nylon jaws and replaced mine because after 3 years of wire straightening, they were quite ugly and they were not working very well. So I just replaced those. That's good about these tools is you can replace those tips right there. It's got the nice grip as well. But I say they're not essential because honestly with the dead soft wire, you can use your fingers to straighten it out. It might take a few times and a few moves to really get that nice and straight. But it's you know, patience is a practice. It's not bad. But these nylon jaw pliers are non-essential but essential tool. Here we have the one-step looper. I love this baby. I saw it on a jewelry tutorial and was super excited to get it. This makes a perfect loop every single time with one single move. It's awesome. You put the wire in there, you just cut it like that, and it makes a perfect loop. I don't use this whenever I'm wire wrapping though, because I need to be able to have that extra wire to be able to wrap it around. So this is just for creating loops, but again, it makes the perfect loop every single time. I love, love, love this guy. It has 2 other brothers in the family with different sizes, and in another video I'll show you how to use these guys and make your life nice and happy and loopy. Another non-essential, this metal block and rubber hammer. The metal block I'm going to be using to harden the dead soft wire. I use it a lot in earring wires to help harden the ear wires and make sure they are nice and durable. You use the rubber hammer and also the metal file to take off those rough edges on there. I'll show you in another video how to make ear wires, and you'll see me using that block and hammer. Another non-essential tool that was a happy accident that I bought, this mini Dremel. I was able to drill out some gemstone beads that came with a too small diameter. I bought this guy on a whim, wasn't using it, and when I bought those beads I was like, oh no, what do I do? And I was able to drill out every single bead on that to be able to use it for a project, but it was worth it. Pearls come with very small holes as well, so I use this in a lot of my pearls and wire wrapping. I will show you in another video how I use this mini Dremel, another non-essential tool. We have this metal mandrel next. I use this in making hoops, really simple hoops. I say it's not essential because as long as you get something with the right size every single time, this one's got the sizes etched on there, but as long as you have a hard cylindrical object that you can wire wrap around, you can make hoops with that too. This is just easier for me, just because they're all the gauges in one nice cylinder. That's nice. My next was my first ring mandrel. This is a plastic piece that I bought that was nice and cheap is not always good. It was very hard to use, and when I started trying to make like really perfect little rings, you can see it's got this weird groove thing here, and it goes down and up and down right there. So it wasn't making very beautiful rings, so I had to upgrade to this metal ring mandrel. It's got all my different sizes on it. I use this all the time. I love it, but again, non-essential because as long as you had something with the right ring sizes and you had the right size, you could use really anything to wire wrap around and make rings. In another video, I'll show you how I use my ring mandrel to wire wrap rings. All right, guys, there we go. Those are your tools, essential and non-essential. So with those and some wire, you'll be able to make a beautiful jewelry. In another video, I will talk about the different gauge wires and what they mean and what you would use it for, because I found that quite confusing in my beginning jewelry making, and I just want to explain it to you guys. If you found this informative and useful, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content. Thank you so much for watching, and bloom, babe.